Hello everyone, welcome to Sunburned Albino Plays Hollow Knight episode 23. We're leaving this place. We're leaving this terrible place. Full of desolation and despair. And just all the bad things. All the bad emotions that are possible. City of Tears. Let's go. Although, hold on, because is there a grub around here? There is! Oh, we gotta get it. And it's pretty quick to just fall down here, so let's get it. So how's everybody's day going? Yeah, we're starting with that, because there's nowhere to go. You can't talk about what happened last episode. I mean it. You can't do it. Don't do it. I don't want to hear no gossips. I don't want to hear any snickering behind my back when I walk down the hallway and you guys are like huddled over in the corner. I don't want to hear none of that. That's some bullshit. All of that is. That part with that kills me every time, you know what it is. You know what part that is. It's not acceptable. This is... No, I thought I was trying to fall in the other place. God damn it. Did we ever dream nail you? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. At all. Oh, God. 3 weeks till Spyro comes out. That's something. That's something to be chipper about. Sure. I don't know what else to be chipper about right now, at least not while I'm playing Hollow Knight, you know? It's like one of the least chipper things I could be doing right now. Just, you know, steel myself and come back and face my defeats and try and act like nothing ever happened. I don't own my mistakes. I have a real trouble, like, you know, I'll be defiant about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's like, oh, it looks like you're having trouble with the Coliseum of Fools. Like, even though you just saw 30 minutes of that, I would still be like, no, what you saw was garbage. That wasn't my fault. That was the game. It's dumb that the game's like that, is what it really is. That's kind of my MO. That's a lot of people's MO. And it's not good to do that, but it's what I'm used to, and it's tough to not do things that you're used to. You know? This way, please. Oh, it sucks. I don't have fragile strength. Where the hell did you come from? I killed you. There were two of you. Yeah, I don't have fragile strength anymore. Because I had to put on all my navigational, other way! Jesus. There's gotta be a better way to do that. Yeah, my navigational charms, like Wayfinder, Sprint Master, things of that nature. Okay, so we're going over to Kingdom's Edge. We're gonna go back to the Hive, get that thing, and then I'm just gonna ramble about nothing, like, the whole time, because there's no other options. It's hard to have consistent commentary when we're, like, backtracking to the same place, like, 6 times now. Oh, did you ever notice this piece of architecture? Wow, now that I take a closer look at it, I could tell you some interesting things about that. No. No, I can't. All I can do is just rant about whatever comes to mind. And also, like, you know, think about talking about some topics, but then be like, I don't want to discuss that right now, actually. Ow. Like, this isn't the place for it. But that doesn't mean that I won't do it anyway, at some point. It's not, like, bad. It's not, like, you know, just, like, TV shows, mostly. I like to talk about TV shows. Well, what I like to do is I like to have thoughts about TV shows. But then, like, there's no video where that would be something that's, like, substantial enough to be viewed by people. Oh my god, they die in one hit. That's so beautiful. Also, this path does not let me go over here. God. I have to go around. I don't know. One of the things I like to... I don't even like to notice this, but it's inescapable. Is I like to notice just how liberal a lot of TV shows are. Not that it's like in any kind of bad way, or... I mean, that's your call to make, if, you know, based on what you're seeing. There's a lot of shows that I like that are, like, extremely... Like, you can tell what they're doing when they're portraying certain stuff. Like, you're like, oh, I know what your goal is with this. So I got a lot of those. You guys watch American Horror Story? I don't want to spoil anything, because, like, you know, if you're not caught up to it. And, like, this is one of the seasons, American Horror Story Apocalypse, that is probably the most spoilable, given their whole, like, camaraderie, callback nature of them, like, going back and, like, tying different stories together. Because, like, you watch this season and you're like, oh, the past seasons take place in the same universe. Like, and, like, you know, most of you is like, well, of course, but, like, they actually are acknowledging it now. And that's like, oh, well, now you think about, like, what's going on there. But again, I'm not spoiling anything. God, I hate these things. I can't talk about it because it's spoiling. Like, even just, like, the nature of what I want to talk about is like, oh, that's how the season's playing out. Like, those are the events. So I'm not going to spoil it. Alright, you can keep watching. It's fine. But then I just, like, painted myself into a corner now. Because now if I don't talk about anything, people are like, why did you just waste our time with 5 minutes of posturing if you're not even going to say anything? Okay, this isn't really spoilers. So, hold on a sec. I need to concentrate a little bit so I can get my full health back. So, in Season 3, there was a coven. It was American Horror Story Coven. It was about witches. Just witches, you know. Not like evil witches. Well, you know, some of them... It was witches. Like, they had good or bad intentions. It wasn't all cut and dry. There were gray areas. Oh god, I forgot about that. I forgot about those parts. Those bees that come out of the dude. And so, like, whatever. And I think, like, in that season, they, like, alluded that there were, like, males, like, warlocks or something in there. But so, the current season, like, confirms that because, like, everybody comes... Well, not everybody. I'm just saying, like, events from Season 3 tie in to this season. And so as a result of that, you get to kind of see the other side of the dynamic, which is, and it creates, like, a parallel between, you know, our real world and that kind of thing, because based on the hierarchy. So, like, witches, the female witches, only females are witches, males are warlocks. How the hell do I get up there? No wonder I missed this, dude. I don't know what to do here. Oh, it must be like this. Ah, there we are. Yes, so female witches are at the top of the hierarchy. It's basically a mirror of, like, you know, it's a battle of the sexes kind of thing. Kind of parallel that they're drawing. Where, like... So the witches are at the top. They're females, you know, they have, like, empowerment. They're at the top of the hierarchy. The male warlocks are, like, a rung below that. They're, like... I don't want to call them second-class citizens, but, like, in the show they would call themselves second-class citizens. You know, like, you know. So, like, oh, well, we're discriminated against, and you think that, like, you're innately superior because of your biology and stuff. And they give a reason. They're like, females are more attuned to like their magical energies, and therefore there has never been a male warlock that is as powerful as witches or something. Where was I going with this? I don't know, man. I just want to talk. I just want to talk to y'all. See how you doing. Let's keep each other company. Except I'm all alone here. Okay, so we got that grub. I'm not done. It'll come back to me what I actually wanted to talk about. I don't remember. But well, you know, it was just like kind of the opposite of like the actual how it is. Because like, arguably, people would say that in the real world that like males are the dominant, you know, top of the hierarchy, with women being quote unquote second class citizens, or at least they are very close but still pretty noticeably like not quite as powerful or having the jobs that they or that represent, you know, whatever. I don't believe women are oppressed, because that's taking it too far. They're not oppressed. Women are not oppressed. If you think you're oppressed, maybe you're oppressed as an individual because you suck for some reason. But like, you as a member of your gender are not oppressed. Unless you think they're just like, oh, well, my boss isn't giving me a raise because I didn't ask him for one, is being oppressed, in which case you've got a pretty privileged view of what oppression is. But so, yeah. And like, they're so on the nose about it in the show, like drawing the parallels. Like the male warlocks, because like they have like this champion that they want to become the next supreme, which the supreme is like the ruler of all magic kind, not just witches or warlocks, all of them. And like, a man has never been the supreme before because historically, I guess their magic power has not been as good because of their biology. Which, hey, biological differences between men and women. They believe it too. They just don't know they do, some of them. Let's see. Yeah, but so like, one of the male warlocks like literally calls the females like bigots because they say, you know, stuff that it's like that. And it's like, it feels a little bit wrong coming out of his mouth. Because it should feel basically the same way as like, in real life, if a woman said that to a man, like, you're a man, therefore you're a bigot against women. Like, that should make you uncomfortable because that's stupid. But I don't know, it's a bit more. The difference kind of, I guess, is like, in the show, because they portray a couple of the women like straight up like saying these things. Like, oh, males with their penises and they ruin everything and they're not as good as us. Like, those are real opinions that are floated around there by the women in power. Which is, I guess, you know, it's probably supposed to be like a parallel to like what men say, if men say that. And I'm sure you'll find examples of men saying that. But they don't by any means represent the collective male ideology that we're the best. You're going to find your outliers, but by no means consider that a collectivist opinion. Oh, good, we're here, and I can get into the... Oh, yeah, okay, we can get a grub from here. Right. So I don't know, like, you watch shows like that, and then sometimes it like doesn't occur to you. It didn't occur to me for the longest time. You know, I was apolitical for forever, like the last, pretty much up until like not even a year ago, was when I started actually like paying attention to what people were saying. And then once you start doing that, you're like, oh my, like, TV is extremely political, and you didn't even notice before, but it really is, like, all the time. There's so many parallels. Oh, are you joking me? There's so many parallels that are, like, not even subtle. Like, some things you're just like, How do they get away with that? Like, that's so blatantly obvious what they're trying to say about what's going on in the world, you know? You know, kind of like Doctor Who doing an episode on Rosa Parks. Which I didn't see it. I don't know anything about Doctor Who. I've never seen Doctor Who. So I'll preface my opinion by saying that I don't have any history of that show in me. But I guess my question would be, like, why now? Like, what do you think's going on that, like, we needed a sordid reminder of what actual racism looks like? Or, okay, when you hear, like, when you see stories, now, like, it's come to the point where you have to ask, like, what is their goal in telling this story? Because so much storyness is ideologically driven. They're like, I'm going to tell this story because it purports a narrative that I agree with or think is important for people to know, because I'm going to tell this story because I want to change people's minds about something, or like open their eyes to the whatevers. And those don't make great stories. Because they don't, then the timelessness of them wears thin. Like, there's no such thing as a classic that has any kind of, like, politically motivated message. Except for, you know, it'll be classic to the people who agree with the message. But even to them, it's like, you know, those are a dime a dozen. You can find a billion movies that all say the same thing in support of whatever you think. And they're all interchangeable with each other. So even to those people, it's like, well, there's no one movie that says this in a way that's so powerful that, like, oh, I have to watch that movie. I'm never going to forget that movie. You know, classics are like Back to the Future and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like, what the fuck are those movies about? Anything important? No. Anything where it's like, oh, you better think the way that I'm trying to get you to think, so you appreciate what's going on. Like, no, classic movies are good stories that aren't marred by any kind of goals, basically. That's my view on it anyway. That's why, like, you know, there's the differences between, you know, which Disney movies become classics and which Disney movies are quickly forgotten. Which has to do with, like, all the controversy with, like, Kristen Bell and Keira Knightley policing their daughters, like, Disney watching habits. Like, you can watch, you know, you can watch Moana and Frozen, but don't you dare touch Sleeping Beauty. That teaches the wrong message about consent, even though literally the only reason the prince kisses the princess is A, to save her life, and B, because you have to be truly in love with her for it to have even worked. I think that teaches a pretty solid message about consent. Ooh, how did I miss this? No, I mean, show me the Disney movie that teaches that, like, oh, some chick you met at a bar, roofie her and fucking sexually assault her. Like, where's that Disney movie? Because I don't see it. By all means, prevent your daughter from watching that movie. Why? Okay, yeah, I can't afford to Crystal Dash over there. Yeah, and it's weird to hear that from Keira Knightley, because she was in Pirates of the Caribbean, where she literally played a damsel in distress who was so uppity and gung-ho that she frequently got herself into trouble because she was so ineffectually worthless, basically. Will, I'm going with you! No, you'll just get captured. No, I won't! Gets captured. I don't know, is she ashamed of that? I don't recall her talking about it. But I wonder. But that's kind of the trap you fall into when you're against this kind of thing, too. Is, like, the only way to argue against the ideological mindset is to come up with one yourself that is anti, that's, like, opposing it. you know, like with what I just said about Sleeping Beauty. Like, no, Sleeping Beauty is not. It teaches a bad message. It teaches a good message. It's about good messages. And then it's like if you say that, then you're also relying on a good story revolving around a positive / ideological message. You're just doing like the opposite one that they're doing, which isn't any better. Which is why yeah. So it's hard not to fall into that trap. I mean, argument is kind of almost inescapably about sinking to other people's level. Because you have to have a conversation that they're going to understand, so you kind of have to go on their other person's terms. You know, if a high school teacher has an argument with a 5-year-old, the high school teacher can talk like a high school teacher and argue like a high school teacher all he wants. But the 5-year-old's not going to understand shit, and they will just keep having their own opinion. And not listen, because they don't understand the opposite side of the coin, basically. Look, I know the mantises are friendly to me. The only issue with that is that I need to fill out the journal. I'm just glad they don't all get hostile when they see me kill all their friends. Alright, there's no grub around here. Excuse me. Why do they explode when they land? That's gross and weird. There we go. But yeah, so Kristen Bell specifically like did an interview where she was talking about what movies like Sleeping Beauty teach kids about consent. She's like, I think it's important that we re-examine these so-called classics, or whatever she said, and make sure that like the message is appropriate for whatever. And it's like, of course you would say that. You were part of the single most ideologically why can't I say this word anymore? Ideologically driven Disney movie that's ever existed, which is Frozen. It's like, you don't need a man. And also, if you have a man, he's probably evil and will try to take everything from you. And also, if you see somebody else have a man that's evil, you probably shouldn't go for the man that's nice, because it's way better to have a sister that you like, or something. I don't know. That's why people like Frozen's ending. Well, when I say people, I mean the minority of people. Liked Frozen's ending because it was like, oh, she didn't go for Sven. Anna didn't go for Sven. Even though he was perfectly, like... I don't know, I guess it was trying to purport something like, you know, men and women can just be friends, you know? Like, they don't have to... There doesn't have to be a romantic connection there. But, like, you could see it. They portrayed it. And then she just didn't do it. It would have been one thing if he was, you know, like, unattractive in some way. Or, like, had some kind of... something that would, like, make him not a good suitor. Like, the only reason I would say anything is because it was such an obvious route that she would end up with him. And then she didn't, and then that's supposed to send some kind of message of, like, independence. But it's like, okay, at the expense of a happily ever after? Go for it, sure. You can be alone the rest of your life. And you'll love it. Oh, being single is great. Just ask all single people, who will definitely tell you the same thing. Of course, I say that, and then you will actually get like some single people that'll rationalize it. Like, actually, I'd much rather be single. I don't want to be tied down. Okay. Here's a rationale for you. If you like being single, is it because you just want to fuck whoever you want? Is that the number one and only thing? Is that so you can maintain sexual liberty? Because I can't imagine another reason why. You know, like especially as a dude. Like, well, dude, that's the thing. Dudes are honest about it because they will actually tell you that, yes, that is why. I didn't want to be tied down to just one bitch, man. I wanted to be able to get that dick wet whenever I want. Like, they're gross about it, but it's honest. Ow. But I do need to kill more of these dudes. And then, like, if a woman says that she likes being single, what's the rationale? She won't tell you it so she can, you know, fuck whoever, even though that's assuredly part of it. It's got something to do with it. You know, if they tell you anything, it'll probably be along the lines of, like, oh, yeah, I don't want anybody telling me what I can do, or, like, I don't want... Yeah, it'll be for independence, like emotional independence. Not emotional, but like psychological. Like I want to be single because I want to feel like I can be all right on my own and not need anyone else. There is a sensation of part of it being like, you know, I don't want to feel like I need anybody specifically. I want to go down to Deepness because that's the nearest stag station, I think. And I don't know where I'm going right now. You know, like, it's okay to be single, and it's okay to like being single, but you shouldn't want to be single forever. Because that's not a good life. It's really not. Unless you're rich. If you're rich, then sure, have at it, because you can have anything that you want. If you're poor and single, A, you're going to be poor forever, unless you have, like, an amazing career, which will make you not poor. So it's, like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, you can't be single and poor and like it unless you're not poor. It's pretty important. So, oh my god, okay, that's not the nearest stag station, I was joking. We go to the tram? Like, that's... Okay, here's what we do. We just teleport back to the Coliseum of Fools. Which is assuredly closer, because, yeah, I can just, like, Crystal Dash over to the left here. But then maybe you counter that in terms of, like, ideology-based movies. Maybe you're like, well, okay, you say that, you know, preaching independence / being single and rejecting all courtship is an ideology. Okay, let's say that I agree with that. Doesn't that also mean that preaching the opposite is also an ideology? Preaching that, you know, writing stories about how people fall in love and they live happily ever after, isn't that just an ideology in itself? And it is, to a point, but it's also more tailored specifically towards actual real-life experience and, like, evolutionary purposes, imperatives, you know, like fundamental truths about existence, which is that you are happier when you have someone to share your happiness with. That is a fundamental truth. You know, ideology is based on, like, belief and perspective. Truth is based in truth. So if you tell a story that it revolves around self-evident truths, it's not ideologically based, it's just an accurate representation of what's going on, basically. You know. You know, I was single for a while. As you probably... I've been single for almost all of my channel's history. With the exception of now. And also... You know, there's a... Back when, like, a stream of consciousness, like, episode 20, like, in the 20s of that, I had another girlfriend. For, like, a couple weeks. That didn't last very long. Which, you know, is partly my fault, but also... This was before I was political, but, like, if I was political and I had dated her, we wouldn't have lasted 30 seconds. Because she was, like, hardcore SJW material. Like, no question. But as someone who was not political back then, it didn't bother me. Not that it would bother me now, I would just, like, say things and know that she would get upset at them. I would just know that, like, it wouldn't work out, because she wouldn't let it work out at that point. You know, it's the social justice warrior types that let the political differences ruin anything else that you have. Whereas if you're somebody like me, you're like, yeah, but we could have a conversation and, like, kind of bounce some stuff off each other. And you'd be like, no, I need someone who is suitable to my preferences, and you ain't it, buddy. That's what she would say. You know, everybody just wants, like, ideological copies of themselves. Everyone wants to just date their mental clone. And it's so stupid. It's so unnecessary. Where am I going? I gotta find a grub. Where's a grub to go at? Let's see. Okay, there's one in Fog Canyon. Let's go to Queen Station then. Why is my dog barking? She really shouldn't do that. Anyway, I'll probably explore all these thoughts further. And maybe I can turn them into a stream of consciousness or something. But also it's not stuff that I haven't already talked about. I'm just rambling for my own benefit, man. You guys, well, not you guys specifically, but, like, anybody watching this is my personal therapist. Or you're a party to the act of surveying me in therapy talking to a wall is probably more likely, or more accurate. Because you don't have anything to do with it as individuals. You just, you know, on the outside looking into my inner psyche, basically. I would be saying these things if I had 20 subscribers. Like, the amount doesn't matter. I make the videos... and I, you know, self-psychologically heal. Or explore. Thinking is exploring. You're not going to land on the right answer immediately, but you have to be able to talk through things. And think through things. It's like everybody's expected to instantly be perfectly correct about what's going on in any particular thing. You know, it's like when you see in, like, political asides, people are like, what about what you said 25 years ago? And it would be like, obviously I don't think that anymore. Why are you trying to hold that against me? I started on a slightly different path to enter the school of thought that I'm in currently. You telling me you had it perfect? Just out of the womb, you were like, I know exactly how the world is and how to intellectually navigate around it. I was born this way, baby. I don't know, you can't be judged for thinking. Because you have to start somewhere to get somewhere. Can't just be everywhere. Now, where the hell is this grub? Oh, someone commented about a crystal, or a charm in the Crystal Peak. And it's like, I remember that one, too. That's one of the ones people were specifically were like, you will never find this if someone doesn't tell you where it is. So I gotta get that. And I will. Where's the grub? Where would the grub be? Would it even be in the teacher's archives? I'm not sure that that's where they're saying that it is, actually. Since it's out up in the corner, and that's not where this is. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. Nope. You know, if you're training your children to just be, you know, warriors of your specific thought process from the beginning, that is called indoctrination. That is no better than religion. Keira Knightley specifically is like, I only let my daughter watch, like, female-empowered movies or, like, feminist shit. And it's like, you are exactly like a religiously Christian household. It is the exact same thing. And you would oppose that. Basically, what you say when you say things like that is that it's perfectly fine to indoctrinate your children before they are capable of questioning anything. As long as, you know, it's the right thing. As long as I feel that it is the right way of stuff. So I don't want to hear any of it. If anybody's, like, you know, raising their kids to be woke or some shit, you don't get to say nothing about families that teach their children religion from a young age. You don't get to say anything. And I don't like either of those things. I don't like woke kids, and I don't like hyper-religious kids. I think their brains are too malleable, and they're gonna believe whatever shit you shovel down their throats. So it's not fair. Don't do it. They believe in Santa, for fuck's sake. Of course they're gonna believe that they're oppressed from birth. Where is this grub? It has to be around here, unless it's, like, below. Or, okay, what if I do this? Oh! I am so intuitive. I just had a flash of, like, somebody defending indoctrinating their children with, like, the woke thing. Being like, it's not indoctrination when you're just teaching them to be a decent human being, okay? And it's like, that's what fucking religion is, man! That's exactly what religion is teaching your kids to be decent people. Who live by a set of moral rules? Like, are you joking? Are you kidding me with that one? I know I made it up, but are you kidding me with that one? Okay, where's another one? Is there one in Queen's Gardens? There is. Alright, let's get that one. We're at 39 minutes in. This has been such a lovely episode for me specifically. I enjoy philosophizing with you all. Remember when I hated philosophy? I used to talk about it all the time. There's something that's like, just stop. Yeah. Is that... Oh, okay, you didn't come back. Ha! Oh, good. I don't know. I guess... Okay, so, like, what I've narrowed it down as to why I would say that I hated philosophy. I just hate when certain people talk about philosophy. I guess. And it's like them as people bothers me, not the philosophy itself. I don't know, but that's also hypocritical, because, like, who am I, you know? Like, you think I'm not self-aware of my own hypocrisies. I am more self-aware of hypocriticism. Hypocrisy is the word that I previously used. I am way more self-aware than most people. That's why I rail against it so much to people who are not self-aware about it. Because it's like, you better get self-aware or it's not okay. If you're gonna be somebody who has thoughts that do not mirror their actions, or do not mirror similar thoughts on other issues, then that needs to stop. Because, come on now. Or else you just have to admit that that's who you are. You're a hypocrite sometimes. I better not, you know, hear you say that, like, you're the moral face of justice or nothing. I'm not saying I am. Which is why I can hold that opinion and sort of verbally persecute those who do not. This way? Yeah. Oh, nice bench. Now, is there, like, something below this, or...? No. Okay. So let's back out and around, then. Oh. Alright, then. Yes, I got you. No need to worry. Oh, and what's great about this is I am right next to a stag station. Which means we're not done. We're gonna go somewhere else. In fact, I'm gonna go get that charm now. I have a general idea of where it is. But I might have a problem with it. But we'll see. Nobody talks about Frozen anymore, unless it's a result of somebody from Frozen saying some shit. Like, even the fact that it's in Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't matter. No one is like, oh my god, yes, Frozen is in Kingdom Hearts 3. People are like, ugh, alright, Frozen's in Kingdom Hearts 3, it makes sense. Ah, Tiny Warrior! I'm glad I could see you again! You've inspired me. I'm about to head off in search of other places and other foes. This quiet town's the perfect stop before I scale the cliffs and head out onto the plains. I'll be off soon. It's a dangerous thing to trek the desolate sands beyond the kingdom. I'll need all my strength to survive them. First, though, a good rest is in order. Nola, I'm coming. More challenging foes are out there, somewhere, but none in this ruin could take me to you. Yes. What about you? I've never done you, I don't think. Okay. I can now go into the Ancient Basin and fill up that fountain for Mask Shard. So that'll be on my list also. I wonder if I should open that simple key door just to, like, do it. But I'll hold off for now. Okay, so like... Perhaps it's down here. They said that there was a, you know, like a miner dude next to it. Which is not down here. Okay. Maybe I'm not specifically remembering the directions. But I'll try my best. Is it not over here? Is it up here? Okay, it's not that. Hold on. I want to pull up this comment. It's like right here. There's a breakable wall directly under the really long passage you would take back to Dirtmouth. Directly under. Crystal miner enemy is standing right next to it. This is... But I tried to go directly under. Unless it's like here. Ow. Oh, I filled out the journal. Okay, I hear one. There you are, sir. Oh yeah, okay. Thanks for that. Okay, let's go. Whoa, okay. Crap. Doesn't matter. I don't have any focus. That's a problem. But that's also fine. Oh yeah, this is a whole thing. Oh, must have missed it then. Come on. Oh, it's so pretty. To think that miner was so close. Deep focus. Doesn't that heal 2 with each thing? Draws in soul from the surrounding. The bear will focus soul at a slower rate, but the healing effect will double. Ah, yeah. That's not worth it. At a slower rate, man? Who's got time for that? Still. It's fine. Alright, let's go back to Dirtmouth, and then that'll be the end of the episode. We can travel to where we want to go after that. Bam, 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 bam. Well, this episode was a lot ramblier than usual, but I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. I'll just end it now. Like, what, you want to see me go back to Dirtmouth for no reason? I'll do that later. I'll do that off camera. That's gonna do it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, like, share, and subscribe and whatnot. And I'll see you guys next time. Ooh. Yeah, okay.